Well, actually, the transactions in 2012 in the investment market in Germany was a bit lower than it was in 2011. We just saw from the data that was in the presentation that 2011 was a quite good year for Germany, or for German transactions. We're heading to something like 20 billion transaction volume in this year. In 2011, it was a high stake of retail, which really went down in 2012. The focus is more on office, or office investments did rise significantly. And we also do have a rise in residential investments in Germany. So just taking the transaction side, the focus is on offices. And if you have the discussion about core and non-core situations or investments, in Germany we do have the big 5 cities where a lot of investors really look for safe haven, and the safe haven within the safe haven. The yields which are produced there are very, very poor. There's a lot of demand for objects, especially prime objects in office and retail as well. But there's hardly any supply. What is interesting in Germany, we do have an upcoming area which are the regional cities, and Marty also mentioned it for England, which is interesting investments for England to be done in the regional prosperous areas where you do have yields which really outperform the core markets, or the top 5, for example, in Germany. We don't see these 9 or 10% returns in German regional cities, but we do have 7 to 8%, which is still a very interesting investment profile. From the risk side, historically these German regional cities do have a very long history in industry. So there are various cities which have a long track record and a long stability of production, and actually also in the demographics for the future perspectives. So the trend on one side is the core markets. There will still be a lot of investors looking for the really top core assets in the top 5 cities. But it's an increasing approach to as there is a lack of supply, there's an increasing approach to the regional, really prosperous markets to invest money in them.
Yes, on the Nordic market, in fact, classically, office is the most important part of the market, and especially Sweden and Finland. Again, in this market, there is a huge industrial sector where, of course, there is a lot of, and still available, there is a lot of transaction on portfolios, especially, including offices, warehouse, or factories sometime, which is going quite well. Even if the investment volume are slightly reducing this year, especially in Sweden, it remains quite healthy, and the rental level are quite good as well.